Good morning to all, and now I am starting my second lecture. So perhaps you all don't know me, so let me first introduce myself. I am Dr. Shashank Tyagi, Professor and Head of Department of Biochemistry here in Government Medical College Shivpuri. It is in MP. So in my last lecture, I started the replication and I explained you the basic terms of template and primer and how this replication is started. So now we have reached to this point: initiation, elongation, and termination. These are the stages of replication. You see unwinding of two complementary DNA strands, unwinding of two complementary DNA strands and formation of replicating fork. Actually, the two strands are together of DNA, and when they are separated, it is pre-existing condition that these two strands should be separated. So what is happening here? There is a breakage of hydrogen bonds between the two strands, and two strands are partially separated like this. Their ends are joined and they are separated by the breakage of the hydrogen bonds. You know that there is two hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine, and there are three hydrogen bonds between guanine and cytosine, right? So the continuation in the chain is maintained by the phosphodiester bonds, and two strands are together by means of hydrogen bonds. So if we are starting replication, these two strands should be separated, right? So one end is joined and other is opened here. The point where the replication will start is known as replicating fork, origin. Replicating fork or origin, how this fork will move slowly and slowly and will start the replication. Unwinding occurs at a single specific site at a particular sequence of DNA of prokaryotes. You may ask me one question, that we are dealing with the human biochemistry. So why I am discussing with the replication in the prokaryotic cell? Actually, my dear students, telling you this prokaryote replication is the basis of your knowledge of microbiology. And when you will be studying the use of antibiotics in the case of particular infections, then you should know how the bacterial cell is killed by using the antibiotics. And since bacterial cell is the prokaryote, you should know the basic replication in the prokaryotes. It is okay that we should be dealing with the eukaryote, but you should be having an idea of the prokaryotes also. So unwinding occurs at a single specific site at a particular sequence of DNA. The site is called the origin of replication, or ORI, 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 where active synthesis is occurs. Actually, it is origin, where the replication will start. And replication is bidirectional. Bidirectional means both directions. Simultaneously, both directions. Actually, what is happening? Suppose it is DNA. In this DNA, a bubble is formed. That is the origin. And in bubble, you will find in both the directions the replication start and the new DNA will start. I will show you next slide. You see, these are two strands. One strand is this green one strand is this new strand. They are separated. So it is replication fork, where a bubble has been formed. It is replicating fork, where bubble is formed. And then it is origin, where the replication will start and finish. From this origin, the DNA replication is starting in both directions, this direction as well as in this direction. They are also in this direction and in this direction. So you can say that the replication is starting at the origin. This replication is starting by means of a replicating fork, and DNA replication is bidirectional, that it is directional in 5' direction, it is in 3' direction simultaneously in a prokaryotic cell. Okay, eukaryotic I will tell you later on. In eukaryotes, replication begins at multiple sites and composed almost exclusively of 80 base pairs and is referred to as consensus sequences. What does it mean? In eukaryotic DNA, the replication is starting at many points. So many bubbles are formed in a DNA. Many bubbles are formed and simultaneously the replication will start at all the bubbles in both the directions. One more thing they are telling, that this bubble is created where the excess of adenine and thymine base pairs. Where the excessive adenine thymine base pair. I will tell you why. You know, it is easy to break the bonds between adenine and thymine or guanine or cytosine. What do you say? It is adenine and thymine because there are only 2 bonds. And in guanine cytosine, there are 3 bonds. So it is easy to break the double bond. So what is happening? Where there is the excess of A and T, these bonds are broken down and replication fork is created. Okay, so in the bubble where the bubbles are formed, where there is a excess of adenine and thymine base pairs. You see, these are the origin of replication. 1, 2, 3. In the eukaryotic DNA, you will find many origin points. 1, 2, 3. And these are the consensus sequences where A and T are in more concentration. And you will see that many bubbles are formed. 1, 2, 3 are shown here. Bubbles are formed through the replication fork and DNA is again in the both the direction. So you have seen only one bubble in the prokaryotic cell, but you are seeing here the 3 bubbles, 4 bubbles, 5 bubbles, 6 bubbles in the eukaryotic cells, and they are together replicating. So finally you are getting from one DNA, you are getting 2 daughter nucleic DNA molecules. One is having old strand, one is having new strand. The red one is new, the green one is old. Here the green one and the red one. Okay, and this is the semi-conservative mode of replication. See, in my last lecture, I asked you that sometime I asked in the examination that draw a figure of replicating DNA, stressing on all enzymes and proteins. Okay, so it is the figure of the replicating DNA. There are 2 strands, 3', 5', 5', 3', green one. You know the meaning of 3' and 5', but if you don't know, feel free to come to me and I will explain you separately what is the meaning of 3' and 5'. Okay, don't hesitate to come to me. So 2 strands are separate. And once they are separated, there is DNA helicase molecule. DNA helicase molecule, the blue one. It is coming and intercalating in between both strands. You will find the DNA binding proteins also to bind here and here. So what does it mean? The binding of helicase and DNA binding is preventing the reassociation of 2 DNA strands. They are separated and now they should not again form and full DNA. So these hydrogen bonds should not be reconstituted here. So they are separated, and after separation, the DNA helicase intercalated here and preventing the reassociation of the DNA strands. So they are separated. These are DNA binding proteins. This enzyme is topoisomerase. Topoisomerase is the enzyme controlling the twisting in the DNA molecule. You know that DNA molecule is highly coiled. So topoisomerase is releasing the twist in the DNA molecule and providing an ease that the two strands are separate. So first, by the action of topoisomerases, the twist is released. Then after that, the helicase and DNA binding proteins are coming and binding to both the strands. So they should not be again associated. They should again not bind. Here, 3' and 5'. Then this strand is known as leading strand and this is known as the lagging strand. Okay, this strand is working as per the natural actions of the enzyme. This is against the naturality. It is against the naturality. So what is happening that this is 3' and it is 5', and you know that it is a quality of the DNA polymerase enzyme that it can add successive nucleotide on the 3' end. I repeat that DNA polymerase is very specific and it can add successive nucleotide on the 3' end. Okay, so this problem is solved by a RNA primer base. It is the RNA primer. It is a RNA primer. How it is formed? It is formed by the RNA polymerase. And how this RNA polymerase is acting by taking this strand 3', 5' strand as the template. The small piece of RNA is formed by the DNA dependent RNA polymerase. This RNA is there. This RNA is also formed in the 5' to 3' direction. Okay, it is also formed in the 5' to 3' direction. So here you will find the 3' end. And now you are making 3' end open for the action of the DNA polymerase. So now the DNA polymerase will come and it will start the new DNA length. This is the new DNA formation by the DNA polymerase. Right? So RNA is formed by the RNA polymerase. The DNA is formed by the DNA polymerase. Here it is formed. So it is the leading strand and in a very spontaneous way, the new strand is formed. Now you come to this strand. This strand is the lagging strand. Why? Because we are having a reverse reaction here. We are having a reverse reaction. It is not formed like this. It is formed like this. And one thing, when it is against the direction or reverse direction, it will not be as frequent, as smooth as the favorable direction. So here what is happening? The small pieces are formed. And later on they are spliced off. So what is happening? A small length of RNA is again coming here. And DNA polymerase is started. But it cannot work so efficiently. So action is stopped after the formation of a small length. So many RNAs are coming, 1 RNA, 2 RNA, 3 RNA, and a small length of DNAs are formed by the DNA polymerase. Okay. Once RNA is formed, you will see that RNA is coming in the 5' to 3' direction. And 3' end is available for the action of the DNA polymerase. So you will find the small pieces are formed. After this, what is happening? These pieces are joined, but I will tell you in the next slide. It is the same thing. After this, the RNA primers are removed. The blue portions of blue portions of RNA are removed. They were here, na? They were here, here, and here. They all are removed by the DNA polymerase. So RNA is removed, and then the these pieces are joined up. They are joined up by the enzyme DNA ligase. It is the DNA ligase which is splicing, or you can say which is greasing them. So these two strands, 3' to 5', 5' to 3' direction, they are formed full length. Second point is proofreading. DNA is copied by DNA polymerase with high fidelity, accuracy. DNA is copied by the DNA polymerase with high fidelity. So I repeat it, that DNA is formed taking other strand as the template, RNA as a primer. The new length of the DNA is formed. Actually, we are dealing with the replication, how the DNA is formed from the old DNA. So you will find that DNA polymerase is making another new strand and two strands are formed. So DNA is copied by DNA polymerase with high fidelity accuracy. Incorrect nucleotides are incorporated with a frequency of 1 in 10 to the power 8 to 10 to the power 12 basis. In 10 to the power 8 to 10 to the power 12 basis. So you can say that the chances of mistakes are rare. Rarely any mistake is there, and there is only one mistake in 10 to the power 8 to 10 to the power 12 basis. And if such mistake is there, and this mistake is, you can say, is transcribed also, then it is known as the mutation. Okay, sometimes this mistake is not noticeable. You can, it is not making any difference to the DNA, so it can go as such. But if this change is in the active sequence, then you will note a mutation in the DNA. Mutation I will deal you separately. The error ratio during replication is kept at a very low level by specific process. The process is known as proofreading. Proofreading. Mismatch occurs more frequently but do not lead to stable incorporations because all three DNA polymerases have 3 to 5 exonuclease activity. What I am telling you, tomorrow also I told you in my lecture, if some wrong nucleotide is added, then DNA is very smart enzyme, DNA polymerase. It is going and then it is cutting it. Exonuclease is scissor. So it is cutting and placing the correct nucleotide here. It is a smart enzyme, DNA polymerase. So mismatches occur more frequently but do not lead to stable incorporations because all three DNA polymerases have 3' to 5' exonuclease activity, which is known as proofreading activity. There are two enzymes, exonuclease and endonuclease. Exonucleases are those, and nucleases are scissor only. Exonucleases are those are cutting on the terminals, and endonucleases are those cutting. Okay, so exonuclease on the terminals and endonuclease in between. Mismatch occur more frequently but do not lead to stable incorporations because all three DNA polymerases have 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. DNA polymerase 1 and 2 are known. Note down, DNA polymerase 1 and 2 are known to excise mismatched nucleotides before the introduction of the next nucleotide. समझ आ गया? Now it is clear that DNA polymerase 1 and 2 are acting as the smart enzymes. What they are doing by their exonuclease activity, They are cutting it because they know that they have added a wrong nucleotide. So what they will do, they will cut it, remove it, and will fix a correct nucleotide at the correct position. Now you come to the next point, which is eukaryotic replication. Now I will explain you eukaryotic replication and why I explained you the prokaryotic replication that I told you. So now you come to the eukaryotic replication. In contrast with the E. coli, the origin of replication in human brings do not contain regions of sharply defined sequence. Instead, more broadly defined 80 rich sequences are the site around which the origin of replication complex ORCs are assembled. What does it mean? I told you that in a DNA, many bubbles are formed. And you will find the good concentration of 80 base pairs in the bubbles. Okay, so simultaneously many bubbles are found in a eukaryotic replication. The assembly of the ORC is the first step in the preparation of the replication. In human beings, the ORC is composed of 6 different proteins. Okay, means origin. One addition I told you that they are having the excess of 80. Excess of adenine thymine interactions are more in the origins. Then in human beings, the ORC is composed of 6 different proteins, each homologous to DNA A protein to form a hexameric structure. Right? So what I told you that origin is having one thing, that is A and T sequences. And now what is there? DNA A protein. DNA A protein is also there. Okay. So two things. So one A and T sequence. Now DNA A protein are also there. Then come after the ORC has been assembled, additional proteins are recruited, including CDC6 and CDT4. So one thing is that they are rich in adenine and thymine. Second, you know that they are having DNA A as a protein. Now you will find the CDC6 and CDT1. So four things, CDC6 3 and CDT1 4. And in fifth also, these proteins in turn recruit a hexameric helicase having 6 subunits called mini chromosomes. They are MCM maintenance, mini chromosome maintenance MCM protein, MCM 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So now I can say that in the replication fork of eukaryotic bubble, in the eukaryotic DNA, you will find the bubbles where there is the excess of adenine and thymine. In bubble, you will find the DNA A protein. Then you will have that CD6 and CDT1, and you will find MCM2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You should all remember it. Okay. Okay, take a note of this and remember what we are having in the replication fork or what we are having in the bubble. That first bubble is created where AT is excess. Second, I told the A protein. Third, I told CD6. Fourth, I told CDT1. Then MCM 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
Yes, sir.
These proteins, including the helicase, are sometimes called licensing factors. They are licensing factors for the replication because they permit the formation of the initiation complex. Right? So initiation complex, all are there. Means CDT6, CDT1, CD6, CDC6, MCM1, sorry, MCM2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all are there. and jointly we are calling them licensing factors. Okay. After the initiation complex is formed, MCM helicase separates the parental DNA. Same thing, two strands are separated, and you know what is the action of the helicase? That helicase is preventing the reassociation. Here it is MCM helicase, more complex, and two strands are separated, and helicase is preventing their reassociation. You will find the same figure. It is MCM helicase. Again, you will find a leading strand and a lagging strand. Again, you will find a RNA primer here. In this strands, you will also find small RNA primers. Okay, but the length of the fragment is more than the prokaryotic cell, right? These small pieces are known as Okazaki fragments. Okazaki was the Japanese biochemist, and he named them Okazaki fragments. So the length of Okazaki fragments is small in the prokaryotic cell. They are big molecules. Big length is there in the eukaryotic cell. And here, the action of more of the enzyme. I told you that in prokaryotic cell, we are having 3 DNA polymerases, Pol1, Pol2, Pol3. But I told in the eukaryotic cells, we are having 5 types of the DNA polymerases, and they were alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon. I told you that they are having 5, we are having 5 DNA polymerases in a eukaryotic cell. So it is the replicating DNA in the cases of eukaryotic DNA. It is the MCM helicase, and Okazaki fragments are formed. And later on, this RNA primer is removed. The DNA it is not a problem in the leading strand. It is a continuation of the new DNA. And here you will find the small pieces. These pieces are joined by the DNA ligase enzyme, and you will have a continuous length. So first they are Okazaki in the form of Okazaki fragments. So Okazaki fragments are formed in the lagging strands, and you will be easily understanding it. I told you that the length of the Okazaki fragment in prokaryotes is less, and in the eukaryotic cells they are more. Like bacteria, eukaryotes have several types of DNA polymerases. You all know alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. I told you that we are having several types of DNA polymerases. It is the table of DNA polymerase alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, and we are having their functions. These are the functions of polymerases. And you see there are mainly 2 functions of the DNA polymerases. One is the elongation of the DNA, first thing, and then second is the proofreading and the repair of the DNA. It is the function. So more or less all are having this action. Initiator polymerase, synthesis of RNA primer adds a stretch of about 20 nucleotide to the primer. No exonuclease activity. So ये नहीं करता. It is not the smart enzyme. It is not doing any proofreading. DNA polymerase beta is doing DNA repair. DNA polymerase gamma is mitochondrial DNA synthesis. No exonuclease activity. It is also not doing anything because it is not having the scissor activity. Polymerase delta, lagging strand synthesis and DNA proofreading. Okay, so it is doing the proofreading. DNA polymerase epsilon, leading strand synthesis and DNA proofreading and DNA repair. So I am giving you these transparencies, and particularly my purpose of recording my lecture is to that you may be having these transparencies, and you can give enough time, you can devote enough time to read these transparencies, to note them and study according to your time. Now termination, the end of replication. Replication continue in both directions from the origin. of one replication bubble unit, replication of adjacent second replicon bubble, beat and fuse. I told you that many bubbles are formed in the DNA, and both directions the DNA length is elongated. Then RNA primer is removed by the RNase H and flap endonuclease FEN1, and gap is filled by the freely floating DNA polymerases. The nicks are joined by the DNA ligase. Okay, so by the complete actions of these 5 polymerases, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, RNA polymerase, RNase H, endonuclease activity of RNA H, and DNA ligase, your complete replication is fulfilled. The termination of replication on linear eukaryotic chromosome removes the synthesis of at the end of each chromosome by telomerase A. Telomerase A is specialized polymerase that carries its own RNA template. I repeat it, the termination of replication on linear eukaryotic chromosome involves the synthesis of a special structure called telomerase at the end of each chromosome by telomerases, a specialized polymerase that carries its own RNA template. Right? So it is telomerase. Another enzyme is formed, and it is again having a specialized polymerase activity that carries in the RNA template. It is the enzyme in the RNA. Proofreading. Proofreading, I was telling you that by the table also I have explained in eukaryotes, DNA polymerase alpha, which is a part of replication 4, has the 3' to 5' exo activity required for this function. Eukaryotic DNA polymerase alpha, beta, and epsilon appear to be involved in the DNA repair. Polymerase gamma is located in mitochondria and is therefore its function is related to replication of mitochondrial DNA. Okay, you will find the mitochondrial DNA also. Mitochondrial DNA shows a much higher rate of mutation than nuclear DNA because the polymerase gamma, which copies mitochondrial DNA, has no exonuclease activity. Right? There is one enzyme only, polymerase gamma, in the mitochondria, and since it is also there and it is not making any proofreading, so you will find the much higher rate of mutation in the mitochondria. It is the parent strand, it is leading strand, it is lagging strand in the form of Okazaki fragment. Later on, this RNA is removed, strand is continued by the DNA ligase, gaps are fulfilled, but you will find a gap here. Why this gap? Because RNA has been removed. Okay, you will find a gap near 5' end. Yeah. In this strand also, in this strand also, you will find a gap. You see this gap. Okay, this gap is filled by the enzyme telomerase. Okay, I told you telomerase. So telomerase is the enzyme of RNA and primer. Sorry, RNA template, and this telomerase is covering this space because it is also having a DNA polymerase activity. Telomerase. So telomerase is covering a telomere extension by the telomerase. Okay. Some differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic DNA replication. Location wise, prokaryotic replication is in the prokaryote. In the cytoplasm, eukaryote is in the nucleus. Types of DNA. It is circular DNA in the prokaryotes, and it is the linear DNA in the eukaryotes. RNA primer length less than 50 nucleotides, and it is 9 nucleotides. DNA polymerase, there are 3 types of RNA polymerase 1, 2, 3, Pol 1, Pol 2, Pol 3, and 5 types are designed by the Greek numericals alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. There are 5 types of DNA polymerase in the eukaryotic cells. Number of origins, so there is a single origin. Here you will find many bubbles and many origins. Nucleotide length of Okazaki fragment, it is 1000 to 2000 nucleotides, and it is more than 200 nucleotides in the eukaryotes. Rate of replication, it is around 500 nucleotides per second. Here it is 50 nucleotides per second, 10 times slower than the prokaryotes. Replication is slower in the eukaryotic cell because many bubbles are active. End replication problems does not contain ends. इसमें तो होते ही नहीं है. But here you will find the end, and telomerase is working here. So it was the synthesis of a special structure called telomerase at the end of each chromosome. By telomerase, a specialized polymerase that carries its own RNA template. Now it is DNA repair mechanism. How much is the time, Rajni?
11:20.
So when it started?
सर वो टाइम मैंने नोट नहीं किया.
So I think we have completed 40 minutes or not?
सर 30 मिनट के समथिंग तो हो गया है.
Okay, so let me complete this DNA repair also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
DNA repair mechanism I will be telling you. The mechanisms used for the repair of DNA involve first recognition of distorted region of the DNA, secondly removal or excision of the damaged region of DNA strands, then filling of gap left by the excision of the damaged DNA by the DNA polymerase, finally sealing the nick in the strand that has undergone repair by a ligase. So this repair mechanism is some sort of the action of proofreading and the action of polymerases. So what I told you, that if some wrong nucleotide is added, it is cutted by the exonuclease activity of the DNA polymerase, and it is bringing a correct nucleotide and placing it. It is the method of repair. Mismatch repair, base excision repair, nucleotide excision repair, direct repair, and homologous recombination and non-homologous and joining repair. I think it is requiring time for the discussion. So now I end it and I close this discussion today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.